All right, we're going to call the meeting of the Finance Committee to order on August 6, 2025. Mr. Clerk, would you call the roll?
Alderman Thibodeau?
Here.
Alderman Govea is here. Alderman Moran? Alderwoman Timmons?
Here.
Alderman Clemmons?
Here.
Alderman Clee?
Here.
Mayor Donches.
Here. All right, the first issue is public comment regarding any issues on tonight's agenda. Is there anyone who would like to address the committee? Appears not. So we'll go to communications. First communication from Amy Gerard, Purchasing Manager, Alderman Govea.
In regard to change order number 6 for the Jackson Mills Hydroelectric Project in the amount not to exceed $85,979, funded from bond, 81 capital outlay improvements, make a motion to accept, place on file, and approve change order number 6 to Mayville Americans Contracting for storage and labor of equipment in the amount not to exceed $85,979. Funding will be through Department 170, Hydroelectric Operations Fund, Bond, 81 Capital Outlay and Improvements.
And Ms. Chisholm is here, I believe, on Zoom.
I am here. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes.
Great. Yeah, this is a change order for the contract we have with the turbine manufacturer. As you're aware, we had several delays on the project, and as a result, we're required to store the equipment. We had chosen to store it in the Czech Republic with the vendor in an effort to make sure we could maintain the integrity of the equipment without having it be local and being required to do any of that upkeep and maintenance ourselves while it sat for a couple of years. So this change order is for the final amount of storage. As you may also be aware, we did finally have the equipment delivered to the property in October of 2024, and it's currently actually up and running. So.
All right, anybody? Alderman Thibodeau.
I was just curious, what was the cost of the changes that were required that put the unit on hold, that made them have to keep it at their, or that we requested they keep it at their facility?
This is the second change order that was required for storage of the equipment. The first one, I think, was probably in the ballpark of about $75,000, I think.
If I may. I guess I was unclear, I apologize. So the way I read it, there was something levied on us by the EPA that made it not ready for us to install, so we had to ask them to hold it. So I was just curious what the cost of those corrections were that made us have to put this on hold.
Right. There was no actual fee associated with the delay on the project. We were required by FERC to submit an amendment to the license exemption that we have with them, and that process took considerably longer than was originally anticipated. That was the initial delay. And then, as you're aware, we had some torrential rainstorms that washed out the earthen cofferdam that we had there in front of the facility several times. So that was the other reason why we had additional delay.
Is that it? Yeah. Anyone else? All those in favor of the motion say aye.
Aye.
Motion passes. Next communication from Amy Gerard, Purchasing Manager, Alderman Govea.
In regard to contract for professional environmental engineering in the amount not to exceed $445,750, funded from grants, 53 professional technical services, make a motion to accept, place on file, and award a contract for assessing and cleaning up brownfield site to Weston and Sampson in the amount not to exceed $445,750. Funding will be through Department 181, Community Development Fund, Grant, 53 professional and technical services.
Ms. Chisholm?
Hi, Deb Chisholm, Sustainability Department Manager, managing the Brownfields program with the grant fund that we had received. We went through the RFP process, as you're aware from the memo that Ms. Gerard had put together, had several vendors submit, and then we had decided that Weston and Sampson was really probably the best fit for us as we move through Brownfields program. I'm happy to answer any detailed questions that you might have. I'm not sure what kind of information you want.
I don't see anything. All those in favor of the motion say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. Next communication from Amy Gerard, Purchasing Manager, Alderman Govea.
In regard to change order number 1 for Shakespeare Road Building refurbishment in the amount not to exceed $17,380, funded from Capital Projects 81 Capital Outlay and Improvements. Make a motion to accept, place on file, and approve change order number 1 with Green Mountain Communication for sandblasting and installation of a rubber membrane roof to refurbish the building on Shakespeare Road in the amount not to exceed $17,380. Funding will be through Department 157, Citywide Communication Fund, Capital Projects 81 Capital Outlay and Improvements.
Mr. Mansfield?
Thank you, Mayor. Thank you for the opportunity to speak this evening on this. We began the project on Shakespeare Road of refurbishing the building at that site. We began by pressure washing the facility. Once the pressure washing was complete, we determined that that was not sufficient enough because of the damage to the paint underneath the facility. There were a lot of chips left behind, and if we painted over them, the new paint that we intended on putting on would not allow, probably would not adhere to the building. So we're requesting a change order to have the sandblasting done at the site to clear off all the rest of the paint chips that are at that facility. On the second side, on the second part of that is the membrane. This particular facility is a concrete facility. It's totally concrete. We were unaware that the roof did not have any type of membrane on top of it to prevent leakage onto the equipment inside. They must have used some type of special chemical 20-something years ago to prevent that from happening. As a preventive maintenance and to protect the equipment, I had asked basically for a quote to have a rubber membrane put on the top of this to make this building last longer and to prevent any leaks in the future. So.
All right. All those in favor of the motion say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes.
Thank you.
Thank you. Next communication from Amy Gerard, Purchasing Manager, Alderman Govea.
In regard to annual subscription of VMware Cloud Foundation in the amount not to exceed $132,240, funded from Grant Fund, or General Fund 54 Property Services. Make a motion to accept, place on file, and approve the annual renewal subscription for VMware Cloud Foundation through SHI International in the amount not to exceed $132,240. Funding will be through Department 120, Technology Maintenance, Fund General Fund 54 Property Services.
Mr. Mysevich?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Nick Misevich, Chief Information Officer for the City of Nashua. VMware is the software that IT uses to run the city's entire electronic infrastructure. So this it sits on the host servers, and it's licensed by Core now instead of CPU, like it was a few years ago. And that's just the way the industry is moving, is basically to charge customers more money. So after 3 weeks of rather heated discussion with VMware, they actually came back with a lower amount. Unfortunately, it was after the packet was sent out, so the lower amount is going to be a little over $108,000.
It's going to be how much?
Little over $108,000.
Okay. Anybody? Alderwoman Clee.
Thank you so much. How does that rank compared to what it was last year?
Last year, it was $44,000,
Significantly more.
significantly more.
Okay.
Which is why I
Got
had
it.
very heated discussions with them for multiple
Well,
weeks.
Grateful you got it down to 108 at least. Thank you so much.
Alderman Clemmons.
Through you to the clerk, did you read that as 108,000 or what, or?
I have it as not to exceed $132,240, so we could amend that down to 109 if we want. I'm fine with that. You want to make that?
I'll make that motion.
Well, why don't we just have the maker of the motion amend the motion?
That's fine.
So moved.
All right, so it now is not to exceed 109. Any other discussion? Alderman Clemmons.
Again, I want to thank Mr. Mizovich for saving us some money and, you know, again, all the work that everyone does here. You know, the taxpayers really, you do well by them, so thank you.
All right, all those in favor of the motion say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you.
Next, communication from Amy Gerard, Purchasing Manager. Alderman Govea.
In regard to 2023 Sewer Contract 3 Change Order Number 12 in the amount not to exceed $655,000 funded from Wastewater Fund 54 Property Services, make a motion to accept, place on file, and approve Change Order 12 to the 2023 Sewer Rehabilitation Program Contract 3 with RWC Enterprises for additional drainage improvements at Water Street, Temple Street, Nutmeg Drive, and Thornton Road in the amount not to exceed $655,000. Funding will be through Department 169, Wastewater Fund 54 Property Services.
Mr. Hudson.
Good evening, Dan Hudson, City Engineer. So back in 2023, we bid out a project for sewer work, drain work. RWC, a local contractor, was a low bidder. Since then, we've amended that contract 11 times, basically adding in work as they completed work because it's been working out very successfully. We're seeking to amend their contract one time, entering into this change order 12 to complete some additional repairs. This will be our last change order with this company for this contract. We will be bidding out a new contract for next year. I'd be happy to address any questions.
All those in favor of the motion say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. Next communication from Amy Gerard, Purchasing Manager. Alderman Govea.
In regard to purchase of trash and recycling toters in the amount not to exceed $145,000, fund from Solid Waste Fund 71 equipment, make a motion to accept, place on file, and approve the purchase of recycling and trash carts and lids for curbside collection for FY26 with Toter Incorporated in the amount not to exceed $145,000. Funding will be through Department 168, Solid Waste Fund, Solid Waste 71 equipment.
Mr. LaFleur.
Jeff LaFleur, Superintendent of Solid Waste. Yes, this is the amount that we'd like to spend with Toter. We don't usually spend the full amount, but I'm budgeting it in case we have a catastrophe where a lot of carts start to implode. Those are over 20-year-old carts now, sir.
Alderman Govea.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. How was the sales of them in the last fiscal year?
The recycling carts we're still at probably about 100 a month that we're selling, so they're still going out the door fairly quickly.
All right, so they're still moving.
Alderwoman Timmons.
Thank you, Mayor. I just have one question is how many trash carts and lids do you get for $145,000?
It varies on the pricing. Usually a truckload is like 900 carts, and that's about $50,000. So, you know, we could get almost 3,000 carts for that.
Oh, that's quite a bit.
All those in favor of the motion say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. Next communication from Amy Gerard, Purchasing Manager. Alderman Govea.
In regard to landfill Phase 3 temporary cap CQA Engineering Services Amendment Number 2 in the amount not to exceed $42,000 funded from Bond 53 Professional and Technical Services, make a motion to accept, place on file, and approve a contract Amendment Number 2 with Sanborn Head and Associates to perform field observation and construction quality assurance activities to document the construction of the Phase 3 temporary cap installation project in the amount not to exceed $42,000. Funding will be through Department 168 Solid Waste Fund Bond 53 Professional and Technical Services.
Yeah, Jeff LaFleur, Superintendent of Solid Waste. So this is a project that we've started doing on our Phase 3 landfill. We're capping it as we go up the slope. This helps us with emissions, any leachate breakouts that could go out into the, so they don't break out and go into the environment. So we're continuing capping the landfill as we go up.
Alderman Tudo.
For clarification, with this temporary cap, as you say, as it goes up, so it's temporary because additional trash, landfill gets put on top, and then another cap, and then so on, like a layered cake kind of thing?
Yes, Jeff LaFleur, Superintendent, that's a great question. It's actually a temporary cap. We're putting the liner on the outside of the cap, so in 20 years, we're ready to go back and capture the rest of the airspace. This cap could be peeled back. We could gain the airspace as the landfill settles, and then we'll do a final closure with a permanent cap.
Thank you.
All those in favor of the motion say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. Next communication from Amy Gerard, Purchasing Manager. Alderman Govea.
In regard to copier lease and maintenance agreement in the amount not to exceed $5,460 funded from General Fund 54 Property Services, make a motion to accept, place on file, and approve a 5-year copier lease and maintenance agreement with Toshiba for a new multifunctional copy machine to be used at the library in the amount not to exceed $5,460. That's $91 a month. Funding will be through Department 179 Library Fund, General Fund 54 Property Services.
Go ahead.
Hi, Jen Hosking. I'm the Assistant Director at the Nashville Public Library. This is an all-in-one multifunction printer scanner copier that's going to be used in our administration office, and it's replacing one that we had that broke.
All those in favor of the motion say aye.
Aye.
Motion passes. Thank you. Next communication from Amy Gerard, Purchasing Manager. Alderman Govea.
In regard to Riverfront Parks Construction Change Order Number 3 in the amount not to exceed $369,312 funded from Riverfront TIF Fund 81 Capital Outlay and Improvements, I make a motion to accept, place on file, and approve Change Order Number 3 with Moran's Landscaping for reconstruction of 2 sections of the existing path along the northerly bank of the river to tie into the boardwalks under construction at the Parc de la Renaissance and Bicentennial Park in the amount not to exceed $369,312. Funding will be through Department 183 Economic Development Fund, Riverfront TIF Fund 81 Capital Outlay and Improvements.
Ms. Hannum.
Liz Hannum, Economic Development Director. That was a very thorough description. Essentially, the boardwalk that is on the north side behind, that goes from Main Street along Hidden Pig and then down to where the substation is currently. Once the boardwalk ends, we need to then connect it with existing sidewalk. And so that's what this change order is for. We did consider going out to bid and doing all of the work for that. But we got a quote from them that was very fair. And we had it vetted through our owner project manager. And we feel like this is a way to save the city some money on doing the bid process.
Alderman Govea.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I guess my question is, looking at this, is why wasn't this originally in the plans?
It is budgeted, but we had planned to go out to bid for somebody separate from.
Oh, so you're just adding it onto a contract? Okay.
Yeah.
Yep.
So we're adding it onto an existing vendor rather
Instead of a
than
new
going
one.
out. Yep.
Okay, thank you. Or actually, I have one follow-up.
Go on.
So this is under what your budgeted amount was for that part of the project?
Yes.
Okay, and do you know how much you budgeted for that?
I think we originally budgeted 355 and ended up with 369. And so we're a little bit over the budget amount, but we had asked for a little bit more in terms of what the expectations were right there.
Alderman Govea.
So even being a little bit over the project as a whole, still on budget?
Still exactly on budget. We're gonna use every single penny, but but we will stay under 21 million.
Okay.
Alderwoman Clee.
Thank you. This is, just for my visual, this is from the Hidden Pig to the substation. It's not from the substation beyond, correct? It's just,
So
or the beyond.
So it is beyond. So it's so the boardwalk is a different contract, and essentially the boardwalk just ends and it doesn't connect to the existing sidewalk, and so that's where it will be kind of the pathways around the substation, and then connecting into the Greeley House pathway. So it'll be kind of Front Street and the pathway along the river. So it'll be from the new boardwalk end onto the existing pathway.
Okay, thank you. So the boardwalk where we stopped currently, because we need to finish the substation, the metal screening and so on.
Yes. Yep.
So the current person that's doing the boardwalk, has that job finished now, or?
No, so they're still working on the substation screening install, and then they'll finish the boardwalk. But essentially, this is where the boardwalk lands back onto land.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay, thank you, thank you.
All those in favor of the motion say aye.
Aye.
Motion passes. New business resolutions, ordinances, we have none. Tabled in committee, there's nothing. Record of expenditures, Alderman Govea.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I move that the Finance Committee has complied with the city charter and ordinances pertaining to the record of expenditures for the period of July 11, 2025 to July 31st, 2025.
All those in favor of the motion say aye.
Aye.
Motion passes. General discussion, any general discussion? Alderman Clemmons.
So we had an interesting conversation about this general discussion at personnel, and I'm not so sure that it's in the ordinance that there is a general discussion. So I think we need to look at that. We need, obviously it's been a practice that we've done for a very long time, but we should probably look to see if in fact there is a quote general discussion period, because we may want to, if there's not, then we need to follow our ordinances, and if we want to create one, then we can submit legislation or whatever. But I just find that it's I was taking this opportunity at another committee to just kind of say that we need to look into this matter.
All right, well, of course, it's redundant, really, with
is.
remarks by Alderman,
Correct.
right? I mean, it's the
Correct.
Alderwoman Clee.
Thank you. To add on to what the Alderman just said, at that meeting, I read from our own ordinances. Granted, I was reading the Board of Aldermen's protocol as to how things should fall. General discussion was not there. It went right from the basically new business, old business tabled and so on, and then it went to public comment, and then it went to remarks by aldermen. So I do think it's something we do need to look into. It is redundant, and I think it's confusing to everybody. Do we speak here? Do we speak afterwards? Or in some cases, do we end up speaking in both times, which just elongates the meetings, frustrates the public, and so on. I think we should keep it down as our ordinance says, remarks by aldermen. However, having said this, what I read from was the Board of Aldermen's schedule of this. So I think we need to follow up as to if there's something different for the subcommittees. And it came about because one of the comments was that the Board of Aldermen in something such as Manchester, they only have public comment, the second public comment, once a month, and the topic has to be registered with the clerk's office as well as the person who's going to be doing it. Unlike us, we do it at every meeting and so on. So that was all part of that conversation. But thank you.
All right. After general discussion, we have public comment. Any member of the public? There is no member of the public here, so I'll assume no one wants to speak. Remarks by Alderman. Any remarks by Alderman? If not, we will go to Vice Chair Clee.
Yes, I'd like to motion for adjournment.
Motion to adjourn. All those in favor of the motion say aye.
Aye.
And motion passes, and the meeting of the Finance Committee is adjourned at 7:24 PM.